welcome to another crafty video. For today's one I've got the Spooktacular collection from Spellbinders and Simon Hurley, plus I've also got another small little die set that I really wanted to make a card with, so I thought I'd just lump it into this video as well, which is called Pupkin. And if you know what my dog is called, then you'll know why. I really love this little die set as well. So there are two die sets in this collection from Simon Hurley. I have also got a little bit of another die set down here, but we'll ignore those when we're looking at everything because I haven't actually made any samples with those yet. And then we've got an embossing folder, and then we've also got the extra die set that I want to show you as well. So I've made a couple of cards with each of the sets, and I've also played around with the embossing folder as well. But let's have a look at the actual dies first, then we can look at the cards. And I've also got some bits just randomly die cut out, so we can have a look at some of those as well. So the embossing folder in this collection, it's a beautiful A5 one, or 6x8 inches, rough kind of size. It is absolutely stunning. I love damask patterns anyway, and I really like this one. It's got hearts hidden in it as well, and it's just really beautiful. When I was embossing this as well, and one background in particular that I'll tell you when we get to it, I was like so impressed with how this embossed, and it even kind of, I don't know what it did, it kind of like stretched the card in a way that made this colour that I had on this background really pop out really nicely. And I'll show you that actually, because I can show you, I think I've got another dried background of what it looked like before I embossed it. So I'll try and show you a comparison of before and after embossing. But it's absolutely beautiful, this folder, and it is one of their 3D ones, so it has got some real depth to it when you emboss it, and I'm sure this would look fantastic for the faux letterpress technique as well, or any sort of technique, so you're using your polishes and other kind of metallic kind of products to sort of emphasise the design on this as well. Or you can do the cool technique of embossing it with a coloured card using a clear wax to protect that coloured card on the raised up areas, and then use a darker version of the coloured card in whatever ink to kind of deepen the recessed areas of the design. That always looks absolutely beautiful as well if you don't have anything metallic-y in your stash and you just have like a candle or something in your stash to be able to put the wax on the top areas. But another very cool technique that you can do with beautiful embossing folders like this. But this is an absolutely stunning folder, and I know a lot of you are tonic fans who watch my channel, so if you want to emboss a 3D Spellbinders folder in your embossing, or in your tangerine even, you want to use your green plate and your pink plate to get the perfect sandwich for an emboss on your tangerine. Then let's have a look at these gorgeous dies. So the first set is called Boo Crew. So we're actually just looking at this part of this die set. This little part down here, all of these beautiful little icons, they are actually part of another set that is launching with a cuckoo clock and these little like accessory decorations to go on it as well. And I got sent the Halloween ones and the autumn ones, and I've got a cool idea that I want to try with them, but I didn't get sent the cuckoo clock. So I want to show you a few ways of using these little kind of elements if you don't get, if you just get one of the icon sets and not get the actual cuckoo clock design as well. But that should be a later video whenever future me gets around to doing it. But this actual die set, the Boo Crew, we have got a gorgeous sentiment that says "Boo to you," and I like the way they've done this. They've actually done it so that the three bubbles for the words are all joined together in one line, so you can actually die cut this out and have it as an aperture and then put your words inside it, or you can just use it to help you line them up if you want to get them all in one line, or you can just use them individually and put them in whatever positioning you want the three little words to be in as well. And then you have the beautiful scripty boo, to and you. So you can always combine these with other words that you have as well. You could do like happy birthday to you, or you can use the U with a thanks die, cut off the S, and then you get thank you as well. So you can kind of combine those two. Then I absolutely adore these ghosts. They're so cute. They're so fun and like friendly little ghosts, and they have a layering element to them as well. So along their bottom edge, they've kind of got like slits cut into the sheet to give it a really good lot of depth and everything. And they've got the beautiful debossing lines in them as well. Let me just get one that I've already got cut out so I can show it up close to you. But they've got the beautiful debossing lines in them, plus little cut lines, and then they have like these slits and folds in the fabric. And then you have a second die. Can I find the one that actually goes with this ghost shape? Nope, obviously the last one that I pick up. But they all have a second die that goes with them that fills in the back. So you can actually have that in a darker colour, whether you colour it or you cut it out of a slightly grey kind of tone of colour of cardstock. And you can have it behind, and it gives a real depth to this. And I actually mounted the top one with a low profile foam tape to give extra depth as well. And it looks fantastic. Plus, there are also arms in here as well. So you can actually give the ghosts arms, which is really cute. So you've got like a more sort of outreaching pair of arms, and then a more floaty pair of arms as well, depending on which ghost you're putting them on, and also what kind of expression you want the ghost to be having as well, depending on how they're moving their little hands as well. But they're really sweet. So you've got the 3 different ghosts here, which you'll see on my cards in a minute, the 2 different sets of hands. You have the 3 extra like skirt pieces that go behind the bottom portion of the ghost to fill in and give you that real detail. You have this weird looking die, which actually gives you the black piece of card that can go behind each of the ghosts' faces. So you've got a different one for each of the ghosts. Let me just find the third one as well, depending on their face shape. So you've got one that fits perfectly behind the sort of surprise looking ghost, one that fits more behind this one, and one that fits more behind this one. And so you can instantly put the black or whatever colour you want behind your ghost's eyes. You could also use any glow in the dark products that you have, like a texture paste or an embossing powder, and emboss these pieces or add the texture to them, and then they would shine through with the beautiful glow in the dark feature as well. Then, as well as those sort of all of this portion, which is the main ghosts and the sentiment, you have got a ton of accessories to go with these beautiful ghosts as well. You've got a gorgeous little pumpkin bucket here, which also has this piece, kind of looks like a frog's head, but this is actually to cut the black piece of card to go behind the face on the pumpkin bucket as well. And then you have the little handle for the pumpkin bucket too, and I'll show you that on one of my cards. I've cut that out and used that. We have got like a bowler hat. And you also have the one that goes with the bowler hat is this one. So, or it could be a clown hat as well. That kind of reminds me of a clown hat, and it would have a flower poking out of it. But you have the band, so you can give it a colour, and you also have the rim of the hat too, so you can make it a little bit more three-dimensional, or you could stick part of the hat behind the ghost's head so it sticks on better, and then put the brim in front of the ghost's head as well. You've got a top hat, again with another die that gives you the sort of band and also the brim of the hat too. And then finally you have 3 sets of glasses, which are really, really, really cute. And each of the glasses also has the cheeks on them as well. So you've got a sort of, I would say that's a Harry Potter pair of glasses. These are like a traditional sunglasses or tortoiseshell kind of glasses frame. And then you've also got a monocle as well. And you've got the little cheeks that go with them. So you can cut your glasses out whatever colour and then cut it again to get your little cheek colour as well. Or you can have your cheeks matching the colour of your glasses, however, whatever kind of design you're doing really. But they are absolutely adorable, and they fit on the ghost so perfectly. So that is the whole Boo Crew die set. And then the other one that is part of this Spooktacular collection is this one here, which is called Bewitched. So this is a gorgeous cat with a fantastic hat that it can wear as well, which if you have any Harry Potter fans, this could be like the sorting hat, and this could even be like McGonagall or something as well. But this cat is absolutely adorable. It actually reminds me of my dog Pumpkin as well, because she's so elegant compared to her 2 sisters. The way she kind of sits is more like cat-like, because she's got lovely dainty little feet. Her ears don't stick up like that. That's her sister Willow that has ears that stick up, but it just reminds me a little bit of Pumpkin, even though she's a dog. And this cat looks absolutely beautiful cut out or as an aperture as well, and I've done both on my projects, because when I was cutting all of the pieces I was deliberately keeping the apertures so that I could think of any other ideas, because I keep neglecting that part of die cutting recently. I get so engrossed on, you know, bits and pieces, deadlines that I've got to get done. I just keep die cutting and not really looking at the waste pieces. I'm just die cutting the pieces out, poking them out, putting the waste bit of card in the bin, rather than actually looking at that waste piece like I often used to do, quite a bit actually. So it's really nice to come back to it and actually look at negative pieces. You could also do something very cool with the negative of the hat as well. I didn't actually do anything with that, but it does give a very nice negative, that hat too. So with the cat itself, you have that gorgeous little cat. You have this little piece here that cuts the inner ears, and they even have like a tiny little raggedy kind of detail on the edge to sort of go along with the sort of hair detail on the edge of the ear, which is absolutely beautiful and such a fine little delicate detail that you don't really think about. Here you also have whiskers, so you can put the whiskers behind the cat's head. You just use that circular piece on the end to stick it behind the cat's head, and then these two ovals here on this particular die are actually the pupils of the eyes. So you have three pieces that build up the eyes. This piece here gives you the whites of the eyes, this piece gives you the colour of your iris, plus it gives a little catch light in there as well. And then these little pieces here are the pupil of your eye to be able to create that. There's also one more piece that you need for the cat as well, which is actually lumped on together with the buckle for the hat. But that tiny little piece that it cuts out there is the cat's nose. So you can even have a beautiful tiny little nose to go on the cat as well, which I think is just really adorable that you can actually put that detail on. And then for the witch's hat, you have this gorgeous one, which is upside down on my die set, but absolutely beautiful hat. Then you have the band to go on the hat as well, so you can give it a little coloured band to go around it. And then you also have an extra brim piece too, so this top piece here matches perfectly with the brim of the hat there, but this gives you the back of the hat, so when you add it onto a character, or if you did have it floating in midair to be the sorting hat, you could cut this out of a slightly darker colour, and it just gives that perspective of the back of the hat as well, so it looks more like it's an actual hat with the brim, like, you know, like flopping in the front of it, and then the back of the hat being there as well, which is absolutely beautiful. And then you have the sentiment Happy Halloween with the bubbles, and this is the exact same font as the Boo to You, so you could do Happy Halloween to You as well, and like play around with that as well. So it's always lovely when you get matching fonts across a collection. Then the other set, I did actually get the package version for this one, but the other set that I really wanted to sort of show you, and I decided to lump in with this video because it is a dog and we had a cat in this collection, but this is the adorable Pupkin, and it's not my breed of dog, it's not a Jack Russell, I think it's more of like a French bulldog, maybe, that kind of a dog, but I just loved it so much. I think it's so adorable, the fact that it's actually wearing a pumpkin costume, and my little girl's called Pumpkin, and I've got all of the pieces off to the side to do it at some point, but I'm going to colour the dog on the inside to look like Willow, which is Pumpkin's twin sister, because Willow has sticking up ears, and then put it on a card for my sibling, and so it's like Willow dressed as a pumpkin, because she's always trying to impersonate Pumpkin by, you know, like sleeping on the back of the sofa or doing something that Pumpkin always does, and I thought this would be really funny, even though it's not the right breed of dog, because it's got the sticky up ears and because it's dressed as a pumpkin. I thought it'd be funny to colour it like Willow, and then she's impersonating Pumpkin by dressing as a pumpkin rather than the actual pumpkin that she looks like dressing as a real pumpkin. I thought that'd be quite funny, and I love that it's got the little like Halloween bucket that it could be holding as well. But if you wanted to go double pumpkin with it, you could bring in the Halloween bucket from the Ghosts as well, and actually have it carrying a pumpkin bucket in a pumpkin costume as well. And she keeps looking at me because I keep saying her name. She's on the windowsill at the moment. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting this little fella together, and I've put him on one of the cards that I've created as well. But you have the actual costume, and then to back behind the face in the costume, you have this piece. On this picture here, it just shows it out of green card, but I actually cut one out of green and one out of black, snipped the stalk off the black one, stuck it behind the face, and then stuck the green one behind it. So I actually have just the stalk from green and then the faces from black, so it stands out really nicely as well. Then you have the sort of foliage piece of the pumpkin here to go around the neck. You have the feet of the dog, so this is quite a good one actually, if you want to use up a few scraps of like animal coloured cardstock, browns and neutral tones and things, because you don't have to cut a whole big dog piece. You're cutting the feet, the head and the muzzle separately, so you can kind of utilise a few different scraps here as well. But you get the feet with the tail that go on the bottom of the pumpkin, then you get the head which goes behind the pumpkin so that the ears poke up behind the costume, and then you get the muzzle that you can put on this beautiful indented piece here. Plus you can also keep the fall away nose and colour that in a darker colour and then place it back in as well. And then the little trick-or-treat bucket is this little piece here. You cut one from black and then one from white, and then you put the white on top of the black, and then it gives you the beautiful little skull candy bucket that they're going to collect all of their treats in. So those are all of the dies that I want to show you today, which is the Spooktacular collection, and then I'm also showing you the little Pupkin die set as well, which is a really small, affordable little die set that could be some small little addition to your Halloween stash as well. Okay, so now we've looked at all of the dies, let's have a look at some of the cards that I've created. So all of these cards, I was going through picking out backgrounds that I made ages ago. I'm going to be doing some more videos over here on YouTube about just making backgrounds. So there won't be videos like showing you how to make the background and then the finished card, because I actually just want some more backgrounds for my stash. I do still have quite a few, but I'm getting to that point where not many of them are ones that I'm like really itching to use. They're just kind of like leftover backgrounds from different magazine commissions or other videos I've been filming or just experimenting and stuff. But all of these backgrounds are leftover backgrounds, so I can't tell you exactly what colours of things that I use to create them, but I do remember that this background in particular was Pixie Sparkles from Cosmic Shimmer, and I think I just had leftover sparkles from whatever project I was working on. I just used a paintbrush to brush it on the card, but a simple background like that embossed with this stunning Damask embossing folder, and then I came back in. I can tell you the colours of these. I think I don't actually know the name of this one, but this is one of the Cosmic Shimmer Wax Lyricals. I don't know the colour of that, but it's the purple one. There is only one purple. And then I also used some of the Gilded Touch Tarnished Gold, which are also from Cosmic Shimmer, so should still be around because Katie Sue bought up the company of Cosmic Shimmer, so all of those products should still be around to buy if you want to get hold of them. The Pixie Sparkles, the Wax Lyricals from Pink Ink, and then the Gilded Touches from Cosmic Shimmer, or the polishes that they do would work just the same as well. And there is a beautiful purple polish in that. Well, there's a few beautiful purple polishes in the collection as well, but I thought those two colours would go really nicely, because when I embossed it, obviously the embossed pattern then gets whatever sort of stripy, brushstrokey pattern I'd created in the background, and so I just used a bit of that purple and a bit of the gold just to slightly accent the design, just so it popped out of the background a little bit more. And I really like these colours, and this actually made me, instead of going for cool greys for my ghosts, I went for warm grey sort of colours, and I did actually use, what are they called? It's mustard, I think it is. I think these were the two colours that I used. I stupidly put everything back, but I think it was mustard and lilac gold from the Copic marker range. It actually looks metallic, that lid, but it's not actually gold. But those two colours went really nicely with that tarnished gold kind of colour. And then I used a blender pen to blend them out quite a lot on here as well. And then I did also ink blend a little bit on these ghosts as well with some brushed corduroy distress ink, just a little bit of ink blending to sort of tone down the colouring that I had done on them as well. And then again, to go along with this beautiful warm creamy kind of ghost colour, I did their accessories from Majestic Gold pearlescent cardstock from Tonic, and I also used the light pink I think maybe it's called Ballerina Pink, pearlescent cardstock to do all their cheeks as well. So they've got little pearlescent cheeks too, and then their pearlescent monocle and glasses on there. And then for the sentiment, I just did the bubble from black and then the detailed words from white, and then just sort of scattered them across the background. And I really like how that one turned out. I think it's very simple, just with the 3 ghosts on there, but that background gives such a striking sort of design for a gorgeous Halloweeny card. Damask always goes really nicely with Halloween sort of designs. So that's that one. Right, the next one is really simple. I didn't do any shading on this one. It's literally just cardstock colours. So I've just done the ghost from white, the backing piece from white, the arms from white, just really simple to show that you don't have to do the shading. It looks really cool if you do the shading, but it also looks really cool if you don't do the shading as well, because if you raise this piece up with a bit of 3D foam, it just adds a natural shadow anyway, and obviously all of the debossing lines and things on the actual die all add to that beautiful effect. You don't actually have to enhance them with colouring and ink blending and things. You can leave them as they are and it looks really lovely. And I've given this ghost the top hat. Instead of giving him any glasses, I've just done the top hat on this one. And for the cheeks of this one, this is actually an apricot sort of coloured cardstock, because he's holding the pumpkin bucket, which I cut from a very bright orange colour. I thought if I put pink cheeks on him and then introducing another colour into the card, but if I use an apricot colour of cheeks, it kind of ties in with the orange tones of the bucket, so I thought that would go quite nicely. And obviously blue and orange always go really nicely together because they're complementary colours on the colour wheel as well. This is also another background that was left over from a video. Looking at it, I'm pretty certain this is from when I did Arteza tempura paint videos and I was playing with the jelly plate. I'm pretty certain that's where this is from. That was probably like 5+ years ago possibly, so you can go back on my channel and search for Arteza tempura paints and you'll probably find the video where I either created this background or I just showed it in there. I can't actually remember, but for this one I did partial embossing. So I put the card in the embossing folder and then only ran the folder up to here. So I put the whole piece of card in the embossing folder, but then when I was running it through my machine, I did have the full sandwich across it with the pink plate and the green plate in my tangerine, but I just stopped at a partial point and rolled it backwards. So I only got partial embossing. You can see it sort of fading off up here. And then I wanted it to stand out more. Now, admittedly, I probably should have done this a different way because more of the white got in the background than I wanted it to. But how I actually did this was I covered it in anti-static powder first, and then I used the embossing dabber and went over the embossed areas. I should have squished some of this out and used something more like one of these little finger daubers or a piece of cut and dry foam or an ink blending tool that wouldn't be quite so juicy with ink, or possibly even if I had just used my mini clear mark or sticky Versamark sort of ink pad, that probably would have given a better result as well. But I decided to go with the ink dauber, so more of the ink kind of got into the background. So when I put the white embossing powder on, despite trying to brush some of it off, it still did go down into the background in a few areas. I don't really mind the look of it though. I feel like the colours are quite balanced across the card, so I don't mind how it turned out. But when I was creating this card, I imagined, oh, you'll see the beautiful white damask over the top of the blue gel printy sort of background, but it kind of obliterated more of the background than I wanted it to, but I do still like how it turned out. And then I just went through my stash of card. I like to cut it into quarter sheets, and then I can actually just bring the pot out onto my desk, flick through and find the perfect shade that will match with the background that I've created. So I just picked a nice light blue, did the band of the little top hat and then the bow tie in the blue colour to tie it in as well. And then to finish this one off, I just did Halloween as the sentiment. So I cut, this is from the cat set, the Bewitched set, so I just cut the word from black, the bubble from white, and then added it on top, and then it sort of, the white helps it stand out and then the black ties in the black of the face and the hat and everything. And actually to help him stand out of the background without covering too much of the background and without introducing any other dyes into this, I just took some of the scraps of vellum that I keep off to the side and tore it into a few little like plank shapes or smaller squares or rectangles and just layered them all up behind the ghost and then stuck him on top. And I think that works really nicely. It gives more of a like spooky ethereal kind of theme to it as well, because it's kind of loose and airy and light, and you've got the overlapping areas and stuff as well. So I feel like that worked really nicely for this card. Then we have got the next card using that cat, and look at that background. Do you want to know how that background started? That's what it looked like, and then embossing it, it just made the green colours pop even more. And do you know what this is? This is just a piece of black card, and when Cosmic Shimmer brought out their neon gilding polishes, I was experimenting and trying them out on different colours of cardstock, and I think the green does show up the best out of all of them. That's probably why I had a few sheets of green just waiting there. But this is one of those backgrounds where I thought, am I ever going to actually use that? But I kept it in my background box because I thought I don't want to chuck it out just in case. I might just want to die cut something from it or something. But as soon as I ran it through this embossing folder, so much more of the green came out. I don't know whether it is because when you run something through it stretches the fibres of the card, but I still don't understand how that would make the green look greener because the core of the card is still black. But whatever magic happened when I embossed that piece of card, I think it looks phenomenal, and I loved it so much that I didn't want to cover much of it up. So that's why I decided to look at all of the apertures and things, and I went for an aperture of the cat so that I could still see that beautiful pattern inside the cat aperture, and I think it works so nicely. And then to help it stand out a little bit from the background, I took some bright green cardstock, had a piece that was larger than the black piece. So to do the black piece, I just took a piece of black card, cut the cat out, and then used my long bladed scissors from Tonic to just snip a random wonky quadrilateral all the way around the cat. And then to get the drop shadow, you just cut a cat from a piece of green card that is bigger than the wonky quadrilateral that you've created. And then when you go to stick it, you put the glue on the back of the black one, then you stick it onto the green card, giving it that drop shadow in whatever direction you feel looks really cool to give it that backlit kind of look. And then you just trim off again with your scissors, just leaving a tiny little green border, and that's how you get that kind of result. It's really, really simple to do, but it looks so effective, and it almost looks like some kind of neon sign of a cat or something with the neon green sort of coming through, giving it that sort of backlit kind of effect. I think it just looks really cool. And works so well when you have a die that is complete like this. You couldn't really do it with the Pupkin because it's in pieces to create it. You possibly could die cut the elements over the aperture to try and create a silhouette of the Pupkin, but it works so well when you've got a full image like this. And you could even attempt it with the ghost and maybe put the other skirt piece on and die cut through the aperture as well to get the full bottom portion of the ghost. It might work with the ghost as well, but works really nicely with the beautiful cat from the Bewitched set. And then I just used my vintage Dymo labeler to have a spooky birthday for this one. So I still can't believe that is how this started out. Just random neon polish. I think there's maybe blue in this as well, blue and green, on black card, and then I embossed it and it turned into that. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. So that is that one. And then I loved the cat with the green colours, and this is another leftover background. This was when Cosmic Shimmer brought out their glossy glazes from Jamie Rogers, and I actually decanted some of my glossy glazes into these tiny little squeeze bottles, and obviously I was intending on doing a video, but I never got round to it, so I still have all of the backgrounds there from where I was experimenting with them. But basically what I did is I just drew a line of the beautiful dark green, the lighter aqua colour, and I think this is the honeydew one, which is a very, very light green as well, and I just did stripes of them. I put two pieces of card together, squished them, pulled them apart, and it gave such a cool effect. And then while it was still wet, I sprinkled in some glitter bits as well. But I've had this in my stash for, well, since those products came out, which was a few years ago now. And I think maybe I have used the other background for something. I don't know if I filmed it or not, but I think maybe I have used the other background for something. But it looks so cool for this card. And I wouldn't have got all of those supplies out and made a background like this and waited for it to dry to put that cat on there. But the fact that I already had it there ready, I think worked really nicely. If those products are still alright in those squeezy bottles, I might do one of my background building videos on it, because I want to do a new sort of series of building backgrounds and playing with backgrounds and things, because I want to build up my stash. But if those products are still alright in those squeezy bottles, then I might give that put that on the list for one of the ones to do, because I really like how this turned out, and to just have it ready in your background box is, you know, so much quicker and easier than creating this background from scratch. But I really love how it turned out. And then for the rest of this card, that cat is actually the fall away cat from here. So I didn't even have to die cut out another cat. And then I've just used all of the dies from the set. I've cut the tiny little nose out of the pearlescent pink and the insides of the ears from the pearlescent pink. I've cut the buckle for the hat from the majestic gold, because that was already out on my desk from doing those ghosts earlier. Although that is the only gold on the card, I feel like it still goes with the whole sort of design. Then I've cut the whites of the eyes from white. I cut the pupils of the eyes and the band of the hat from green. And the way I did this was I took my little box of cardstock out that's got all of the colours cut down into smaller pieces, tried it up against this beautiful glossy glazes background, picked a green that went really nicely, and then used it to die cut those pieces. But when I stuck the irises on the whites of the eyes for the cat, I felt like that catchlight was too stark. The green I'd picked was a very dark green compared to the white, and it looked too stark, so I just picked a Copic marker. I can tell you the name of it. Oh, it's actually called Willow. So I used the Willow colour, G24 from Copics, and I literally just coloured the catchlight in with the green, and I think that gives it a really cool effect, and I much prefer that to having the white catchlight with that eye colour. I think if you used a lighter eye colour it would look fine, but because I went for the darker green, it just looked a bit off having such a light catchlight in there, so I like that better. Then I've used the pupils of the eyes as well, and then for the hat colour, to pick that out again, I just put my cardstock up to the card, picked a colour that would work really nicely, picked a darker shade of it as well to do the back piece of the hat, and then just die cut those pieces out as well. And then obviously I had to put a punny sentiment on it, and I did have a meowy great birthday. I'm not sure why I did both cat cards as birthday cards, but they both ended up being birthday cards. But it's just really sweet. It doesn't have to be anything to do with Halloween, or could be somebody who loves cats who has a birthday in October, and it would work as a really nice card for them, having the witch's hat on there as well. Or cut that out like the sorting hat colours, and it can just be for somebody who loves Harry Potter as well. So I think it's a very nice little set, that beautiful Bewitched cat. Then the final card that I've got to show you is the one with the Pupkin on, and I also used an older die set here from Spellbinders. It's been in my stash for ages. This is the Hemstitch rectangles. This was from Becca Pupkin with the Amazing Paper Grace collection. I don't know if she still designs for them or not. I don't think I've seen any of her stuff for a while, but I just used a couple of the outside ones together with the Hemstitch in the middle, and then I just backed it with black card as well. And the reason why I did a green frame was because the background's very orangey, pinky, reddy kind of colours, and then there was only 2 bits of green on the card, so I thought if I frame it in green, it's gonna give more of a focal point into the little pumpkin in the middle. And this background is one of my salad spinner backgrounds using Dina Wakley's gloss sprays. So that is a video that's on my channel at some point from years ago, but again I might do another salad spinner background video because I obviously am running out of my salad spinner ones that are dried that I did all those years ago, but it works so perfectly. I really like how this one turned out as well, and I have just done a cute little brown dog in this one, almost similar to what's on the packaging because it just looked really cute. And then I've added a little bit of shading with some alcohol pens as well, just to add a tiny bit of extra detail on there. And I did actually cut the muzzle out the same colour, and then I coloured it with a brown alcohol pen to give it a darker tone as well. And I just did with my vintage Dymo labeler, hey from Pumpkin, so I can send this from Pumpkin to somebody as a nice little card as well. So I thought that worked out quite nicely. So those are all of the cards that I've created, and then I have some scraps left over I did actually just originally cut everything out of white just so I could sort of see proportions and things, and to see apertures of bits and pieces as well. So I've got these bits and pieces left over, but I thought we could just have a look at them and see, you know, like what other accessories would go between them and things as well. And also just the aperture of that hat looks absolutely beautiful just by itself as well. It could be a very simple nod to Halloween, or it could be a tiny little gift tag if you were having a party. It could be something that you put around your glass or something to signify that it's yours, and they could all be different colours, or, you know, all sorts of things that these gorgeous shapes could be as well. But I thought I'd just show, or we could just see together, do some of these other elements fit on the other like character pieces. Like, could you make the top hat work on the cat? I think if you fiddled around with that enough, you probably could get the top hat to work on the cat, and it just looks like it's got a hole in it for the ear coming out, but I think that would work on there. I don't think you could get the glasses to work. If you want a very snooty looking cat with the glasses on the end of his nose, then they might work on there, or perhaps the other pair might work better. You could definitely put the monocle on the cat though. Oh yeah, the other pair would work better. You can still see both of his pupils through that pair of glasses, or you could go for the little monocle on the cat as well, which is really sweet. You could also do maybe the cat holding the trick-or-treat Halloween bucket in its mouth as well. That might work quite nicely. Or you could pinch the skull one from the Pupkin set. I haven't actually got an extra of that cut out, but you could have the cat holding that one as well if you wanted to do that. What else could you do? You've also got this hat that, yeah, you could. I reckon you could get the cat to wear that hat as well. You could put the witch's hat on a ghost as well. That would mix and match quite nicely on this collection. You can have the witch's hat on the ghost, and then you can put that extra piece behind to make it really look like the ghost is wearing the hat as well. I love that feature, having that extra bit to go behind. And you could even have it covering part of one of the eyes as well. Play around. That looks really sweet actually. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that looks really cute, having the ghost wearing the hat. What else could you do? You could have the cat could be wearing the tie. You could, somebody who loves cats but works in an office, you could have them wearing the little tie as well. I've got a white bow tie cut out. You can have him wearing the white bow tie. That works really nicely. There's so many things that you can play around with when you have little sets like this that have all of these additional little features in them as well, which is really fun to play with. I think that's probably most of the pieces that I've got cut out here that would work, but it's so fun to just sort of play around and have a look at what all of the little pieces are as well. I wonder if you could actually, if you were clever with this, put the ghost together maybe, possibly behind and in front like that, maybe cut another cat out so you can have the head in front, and find a way of covering that with some kind of decoration. You could almost make it look like the cat is trying to dress as a ghost as well, with his head poking out of the top. That could be another way of combining these two together. Or you can have the cats and the ghosts on the same card as well. The cat could have made friends with the little ghosts too. But yeah, so those are all of the bits and pieces from the Spooktacular Spellbinders collection from Simon Hurley, plus the beautiful little Pupkin die set as well, which is just an extra little standalone die set, but it's so cute. I just had to make a card with it and throw it into this Halloween themed video as well. But hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye!